Okay, so this week is week 10. We're starting our first week of sprint or milestone 4. We're expecting to get into a break coming up and then coming back and then reworking for the next 2 weeks. So we actually have 4 weeks, but it's only 3 weeks worth of work this time around. Everything's going pretty much according to plan. We're getting everything integrated and everything that we need to have a full minimum viable product where everything links together and has full functionality for at least a few items and stuff like that. So we're working through that. So other than that, I'm going to let the team go and then we'll get back to this.
I'm on the ground. Kayla Farrell, art lead, and I modeled, unwrapped, and textured like 4 different variations of rocks. That's available for the designers to have fun with. I'm not going to do anything over spring break. I need this break really badly, but when I get back, I'm going to start on trees.
Connor Bish, designer. I worked on creating a temp track playlist for sound design. I made a UI mockup for the combat UI, and I worked on level design. Yay.
Zachary Patton, artist. This week I worked on retexturing all the models that we had done already, which got done, and I've begun working on making miscellaneous textures for glass and stone textures for the church. Next week, rather next time, I plan on getting the church done, and from there, working on miscellaneous other models and textures that need to be done.
Brendan Lima, artist. This week I worked on the church and unwrapping it. Next week I'm probably going to be working on over the break, and when we get back, more assets on the list.
Peter Timble's lead designer this week has been lots of level design, trying to finish up the force and whatnot, and moving in next time it's going to be reapplying all the new textures and everything that I got, and more documentation and work on the UI.
Austin Meadowcroft, designer. I worked on level design and inventory UI. Coming up, probably going to be combat in the wilderness.
Raina Pomisol, programmer. I worked on the node inventory system and saving and loading nodes and skills. Next week I'll be working on continuing that and getting it to a position where we're ready to start integrating with other systems.
Travis Bodine, programmer. I worked on creating the basic inventory system so that you can actually add items to the inventory and have them show up, and you can delete them and whatnot. And I'm going to start working on actually making them do things and adding like equipment and equipping items to your player and things like that.
Devin Garrett, programmer. This past week I worked with designers and other programmers to hash out the new combat UI that we're planning to do. I got some general functionality set up in the game so that our pause menu actually pauses the game. And then I started working on the targeting system for combat so that for attacks with different numbers of enemies that you can target, or for just combat in general where there are multiple enemies to target, you're actually able to select exactly which enemy you are targeting. So I'm working on that. That's going to be continuing into this upcoming week of spring break and then the week after. And then I'm also going to be working on re-implementing both stances and resource drain in the combat. Resource drain meaning skills costing stamina and mana. And nothing's really standing in my way right now.
Hey, I'm Alec. I am a designer for Guardians Legacy. This week I worked on the backstory of pretty much all of the technology that is supposed to be in our world. Next week that I do work in, I will probably be working on how civilization came to be and works in this game. That's about it.
Overall, we're doing pretty well. We've been working on our feedback integration, functionality, and playable area, along with getting some concepts for our music and what our general tone is going to be for the game. Along with that, we're pretty much on track for getting everything implemented that we want for the base build, where it's going to be pretty skeleton. but we're gonna have combat and at least a playable area and show some functionality. So we're doing pretty good there. Nothing really blocking us right now other than hopefully we keep our Steam going after we come back from break, because that's going to be a little bit of a problem for some of us with a lot of work coming up immediately after break. So that's going to be something along with all these blended classes that are happening. So we're going to try to do what we can. Other than that, that's about it this week for Guardians Legacy.